Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is tarikaremba. If this is the first time you're joining us, thank you so much for tuning in. Please remember to subscribe, honey, please. And if this is, second or third, or maybe you're a regular here, thank you so much for tuning in. So today's video is going to be a Q&A. I put up the question sticker on Instagram and I figured we could just have a chat. Okay, so the first question is, how did you get so good at makeup? You slay so well. Thank you, boo. So I think practice has really helped me a lot. So from the time that I started doing my makeup more seriously at the end of 2017 and today, there's been a really big improvement, and that is definitely because of practice. So what I do is I research, how to do this, how to do that, how to cut a crease on hooded eyes, how to do winged liner on hooded eyes, how to apply foundation, all of that stuff. So I had to research and then put it all together. And another thing is just take it step by step. So I started with my foundation base, or should I say my base first. So my research in the first days was always about, how to put on foundation, primer, concealer, all of that stuff. Then once I got my base down and I was like, okay, this is good, then I focused on the next step and the next step and the next step. So just take it a step at a time and practice. I was one of those girls who in 2018 especially, and maybe 2019, I wore makeup every day. Okay, Monday to Friday. Monday to Friday, and on weekends if I was going somewhere, because I knew that I have to practice every single day if I want to reach a point where I can be a makeup artist, or a point where I can do my makeup professionally. So I used to wear makeup to class every day, and obviously people would look at me like I was crazy. Some people would even make fun of me and have that whole who does she think she is attitude. But at the end of the day, I knew that okay, this is something that I'm trying to do for myself, and the only way I can do that is to actually just practice. And obviously most days I would finish school at like 6 or 7 p.m. So by then the sun is already gone, like I can't see what I'm doing if I tried to film and all of that. So I knew that okay, the only way I'm gonna film is if I wake up earlier in the morning, do my makeup before I go to school. So that was how I made sure that I got time into practice as well as do like school and other stuff. So practice. I'm not saying every day, but then as much as you can. Okay, so our next question, you're gorge. Thank you, babe. How did you get that self-confidence to be yourself and not worry about people? I think this is a good question because I always struggled with my confidence my whole life. I was not a confident child, and even up until I started uni, I was not confident at all. So what I would say is maybe the things that I think helped me, surrounding myself with people that didn't make me feel like crap, And what I mean by that is, people who wouldn't make fun of my weight all the time, or people who wouldn't always, tell me that I'm ugly or things like that, or that I'm not smart, or just things that work against your self-esteem. So I definitely got rid of all of that toxicity, and whenever someone would try to be that way with me, I'd just make it clear that I'm actually not going to have this conversation with you, so let's just end it here. Obviously in a polite way, but just don't tolerate people thinking they can talk to you anyhow, because the way people talk to you and the things that people say really can get into your mind sometimes. So in the same breath, I also had to realize that I also need to surround myself with positive information. So looking at things like a lot of self-help books really helped me. Another thing that I found useful was just surrounding myself with affirmations. So when I started uni, that was around about the time when Being Mary Jane came out. So obviously she used to do the whole sticky notes thing, where she had sticky notes with quotations all over the place. So I had sticky notes all over my room, that had different things like you're beautiful, you're confident, you're this, you're that, you're that. So that obviously helped me. And obviously just getting to know myself more as a person and learning to love myself, because once I did more of that, I realized that actually I'm not perfect, but I'm pretty amazing. So, that really helped me as well. So I would say do a lot of those things and just believe that you are an amazing person, you are worthy, you're kind, and you are one of a kind. There's only one you in this whole world. So that should also be another reason why you should be confident in yourself and your abilities and all of that good stuff. Yeah, the next one is, how do you deal with negative people? Oh, this one is hard. Especially because, why I think this is hard is because I feel like there's negative people in terms of people you don't even know who are just negative, and then there's people who you know or who are close to you who are negative. So I guess I'll answer both sides. So in terms of people that I don't know who are negative, I just block. I block. Like, if you're gonna message me or approach me or speak to me in a really negative or disrespectful way, I'm not gonna deal with you. I have no reason to do that. So usually, like, if it's via text or DM or whatever, I just block, keep it moving. Alternatively, if it's something like Twitter, I just mute the person's profile or I don't follow them. Yeah, so just don't allow it to be in your life. Realize that you're under no obligation to let people around you, especially if they have negative energy. So you need to be firm and you need to stand firm. And you need to stand firm about what you're going to tolerate and what you don't tolerate. As for people in your life who you're close to that are negative, just try to be the person who brings positivity around them, whether it's helping them change their outlook or always sharing positive information with them, quotations and all of that. I think that helps. But ultimately, if I see that, this person is negative or their impact on my life is negative, then I just distance myself. No matter how much you care about someone, at the end of the day, you have to choose yourself and your sanity. And if you realize that you keep compromising that by tolerating this person and their negativity, then you need to ask yourself, is it really worth my mental health or my sanity or my happiness? The next one, can I shoot my shot? No, you can't shoot your shot. I'm single and not searching, and no. Sorry. Try again in a year. Maybe I'll be dating by then, but for now, no. Sorry. Okay, the next question was, what are your favorite places to shop at, fashion-wise? Well, it's no secret that many places in South Africa don't really cater to people my size. So yeah, it's definitely difficult. But here in South Africa, some places that have options are Cotton On, obviously. Superbalist also has a good plus size section these days with brands from all over. The Fix is a good place. Identity, I remember finding a really comfortable pair of jeans at Identity one time. I was really happy about that. And Edgar's also has options sometimes, which is cool. Truworths also has options, but obviously that can be pricey sometimes. And sometimes Woolworths is tricky because sometimes a size 20 in Woolworths is not an actual size 20, or like a size 18 is not an actual size 20. So with Woolworths, you need to be careful. Some things are true to size, other things aren't true to size. But yeah. The next one, when did your love for makeup start? I started loving makeup when I was a child. Every time I'd go to my grandma's house, both my grandmas actually, I would always play with their makeup kits. Like they had, I'll try to see if I can find a photo, but any 90s kids should know this. It was like an eyeshadow palette that was like in the shape of a shell, but then it had different layers. So when you'd open it, it would open up like coming around, and there'd be eyeshadow here and eyeshadow here, and then in the middle there'd be like other like colors or something like that. Yeah, both my grandmas had that actually. I don't know, maybe it was popular in Zim at that time, but yeah, it was really cool. So every time I go to my grandma's house, I'd always like just ask to play around with their makeup. So I'd do that sometimes with my cousins, and like, you know, we put on eyeshadow and lipstick and eyeliner and all that stuff. Like, yeah, so I would say my love for makeup definitely started when I was a child. The next one's from my friend. He says, why are you so flawless? Thanks, my friend. You know, I be trying. Okay, the next one. How do you get motivated to be consistent, especially in this pandemic? Okay, so I'll deal with consistency in general and then consistency right now during the pandemic. So the first one, consistency in general, I feel like this is something that I've wanted to do for a very, very long time, but I was too scared to do it. So now for me, it's just the fact that I'm in a position where I've finally chosen to be brave and not be scared or let fear stand in my way. Now it's like, okay, cool, I'm finally doing this. I've wanted this for so long. So for me, it's just a thing of, I've wanted it for so long, I can't not do it because I've wanted it for so long. And the fact that I'm privileged enough to be in a position where, you know, right now, if I decide, okay, I want to review product X, I can get product X. So I guess all of that just motivates me, because it's like, I've always wanted to do this, and right now I have the capacity to do it. So that's how I stay consistent. Another reason why I stay consistent is because I'm pretty much, I don't know how to describe it, but I'm a homebody. I don't like going anywhere for any reason. I like to stay at home. And part of staying at home for me, obviously, previously it was always a thing of, okay, if I'm at home, I'm studying or whatever. But now it's more of a, I'm at home, I'm working type of vibe. So yeah, my thing is, I always find ways to entertain myself within the house, and part of that is just doing my makeup as well. Another thing is, you know, I really, really enjoy creating content. And whenever I'm making content, you know, the whole process from, you know, preparing before filming, editing, all of that, interacting with people after that, it makes me so happy. And I can truly say that I'm happiest when I'm making content, or when I'm doing my makeup or doing my hair or something like that. It really, really just makes me so happy. Obviously, there are other things that make me happy, but to do with this level of consistency, I think, yeah, just the fact that it makes me happy, and it's something that I've always wanted to do. And now that I'm doing it, every time I make a video or whatever, I feel fulfilled. So yeah. And then as for the pandemic, obviously all the previously stated reasons are, you know, part of the answer. But I guess the main thing is that during this pandemic, I'm alone. My family's in another country. Obviously my friends and I are not, you know, self-isolating together, so I'm alone all the time. And yeah, because of that, it's kind of like I have to distract myself, because if I open Twitter, something about the COVID-19, if I open Facebook, like Google, everything, there's just so much information about what's going on, and a lot of the time it's information that just like makes me panic and worry and stress and all of that. And I know that once I get into that space where I'm stressed out all the time about things that I can't control, it's really hard for me to get out of that. So this is a great way for me to just stay sane and distract myself, because I mean, I can only work so much, I can only watch so many series, you know. So yeah, this is what's keeping me sane right now. Okay, so the next question is, when doing your eyeshadow, do you use a concealer or an eyeshadow base? I use concealer simply because when I do my makeup looks, I think, okay, fine, who am I targeting? My person is someone who wants to look amazing from head to toe on a budget, right? So obviously that means that a lot of products I will use in multiple ways. Where do you buy your makeup? Do you find the prices reasonable? As for where I buy my makeup, it depends on what I'm buying. If it's something that I can get in Clicks and Discount, then I buy it in Clicks and Discount. But if it is international brands like Morphe and Colourpop, I usually get them either on the actual website, so Morphe's website or Colourpop's website, or I use a South African boutique store. So, for example, Muse Beauty, Belzere Bazaar, Beauty Online, Take a Lot, all of those, Beauty Bag, SA, yeah, all of those have international brands, and you can get it locally. Yeah, but obviously how I decide is I look at the prices. So I look at how much it costs on the actual website and how much it costs here. Obviously convert it using the rate of the day and then put in a bit for customs. So yeah, it just depends really on how much I can find it here. If I can find it here for a decent price, then I'll get it here. If I can't, then I definitely buy it on the website. And then as for, do you find the prices reasonable? Yes and no. Okay, so why I say yes is because if you think about it, right, the reasoning that I use is that if I buy foundation today for 400 Rand, it's not going to finish in 1 month. Foundation usually lasts me 3 months. So if you think about it, then it's like I've spent 135-ish Rand every month for on foundation. So if I think about it and think, okay, 135 Rand, that's not so bad. So yeah, that's how I break it down so that the makeup doesn't feel like it's so expensive. But also I save up to buy something, there's some things that I can just wake up and be like, yeah, I need lashes, let me get lashes, or I need this, let me get this. And then there's some things that I know, okay, fine, this is gonna cost me a little bit more money. So if I can't, pay for it like right now and not be broke, then what I usually do is I put aside money. So for example, let's say I'm trying to buy a palette and the palette costs 800 Rand. Then obviously I'll decide, okay, cool, how much time am I willing to wait for this palette? If I say 2 months, then I'll tell myself, okay, cool, this month I'm putting aside 400 Rand, next month I'm putting aside 400 Rand, then I've got my palette. So yeah, I feel like it just depends on you. You can be strategic about how you purchase things. Yeah. Who's your famous crush? Guys, Ovi Soko is my crush. I can't. I stan a wholesome king. Ovi is fine, okay, but he's also kind, and he's smart, and he's funny, and he's hardworking, and he's tall. I'm a tall girl, so tall men are like. But yeah, guys, Ovi, that is my celebrity crush. Okay, so I'm gonna stop the video here. Some of the questions are a little weird, so I'm not even going to entertain them. But yeah, thank you so much for tuning in. And yeah, I think I'll be doing Q&As once a month. So if there's anything that you want to know, then pop me a DM and like and subscribe.